And welcome once again to the 10-Minute Life Coach podcast. This podcast, very simple podcast, has me, Jay Cleveland Payne, giving you a simple life lesson. Not too simple that it's overly simplistic, but something that you can simply take right now, right when we're done with a 10-minute or so broadcast, and put something into place. There's no bump music, there's no big voice, there's no sexy intro. It's just the information, just plain and simple. Hopefully it's something that you can use right away, and if it's not, hopefully it's something that basically reinforces something you're already doing that is going very well, because that's what we're all working towards, just better improvement, overall improvement towards everyday life and business and everything else as well. If you have any questions about the podcast, you can check out the website 10minutelifecoach.com, or you can email me directly for questions to me at info@jclevelandpayne.com. Now, today's lesson is a very kind of simple one, as they all tend to be, but it's about the fact that sometimes you go through things and it becomes truly a struggle. Things are actually hard to get through. You hear so many stories, and a lot of it is survivor's bias of people who went through all these tough times, all these struggles, all these things that were going to beat them down. And then they found a way to turn it around. It turned to a great thing, and now they're multi-billionaires. Everything is great. Life is wonderful. They were losers in high school, but now they're dating models all the time, and they're flying in private jets. And every time somebody hires them to do something, they pay them six-figure contracts. Well, part of the problem with that is a lot of those people are really lying to you. A lot of those people really aren't doing as grand as you're perceiving them, because they're making it up, and they've put up airs. They've put up a great show. They're putting on a great presentation to make it look like they're doing better than they are. It's not even faking it till you make it. It's pretending you made it to keep in the make it game. That's why so many of personal development people in this day come up. They're big, they're bold, they're bad, they're all of a sudden all over the place. Then they kind of disappear and just wander off into just the ether. It's because a lot of it is basically cheap advertisement and a lot of gloss done by technology and social media, to be honest. So let's focus on real world difficulties and real world issues, and just the fact that sometimes things get hard and things become a struggle. Now, those stories we talked about just a moment ago about people who went through hard times, things, they overcame it and went through greater things, make great stories, and they're great to tell. And you fall into the mindset of wanting to believe that, a mindset of wanting that to happen to you, a mindset of kind of falling for their trap in what they're selling, because they've told a story of grief, of struggle, of trial, and they told a story of how they found a way to make it work, and now they can show you how to make it work because now they're doing so much better. In many cases, that's true. In all cases of getting to a certain point of proficiency in basically anything, you have to start off at the bottom. Yes, your first attempts suck, which becomes a mantra for many people to say, your first attempt's going to suck, but you'll get much better. And you will get better. Much better is relative to how well you have the talents to do and the resources to make things happen, but you will get better from your first attempt. But it takes a while to get there, and it's usually much harder than you think it's going to be from the get-go. Everyone thinks that the first time they pick up a guitar, they're going to learn how to play, and then someday they'll go on tour and play with a big band, a big performance, or be the leader of the band. That's something that every teenage kid gets when they pick up their first guitar. In reality, most of those kids are just going to play guitar for themselves, and to get any real prominence, they'll be playing on the weekends in clubs, or maybe for church on Sunday mornings. That's going to be their consistent gig. They're not going to go on tour. They're not going to travel the world. They're not going to record big, massive, popular records, even if the records don't really exist so much anymore, or YouTube videos become big-time famous, because there's too many people out there doing the same thing, playing a guitar, to be honest. That's just how it goes. But you can get better. You can get a level of proficiency, and you can improve on what you're doing. But there will be a struggle to get there. Now, for those people who really have big goals and dreams and really have large aspirations to be in big places, there is the issue that there's only so many spots to go around. We will use something that's fairly recent. At the time I'm recording this, it is still February, and so we are just literally 2 months away, or a month away, from the inauguration of the current president, who is Donald Trump, and that makes us about 4 months away from his actual election in November. 4 or 5 months based on math. I can't do math in the middle of my recording. So we just had that go through where we started off in basically 24 months ago with about 13, 14 people just vying for the Republican nomination to be president. And then when it came down to it, there were 4 viable options, 2 of them not so viable, the Green Party and the Libertarian Party as alternatives. But the Democratic option was going to be Hillary Clinton, and the Republican option, of course, was Donald Trump. Those were the 2 real choices you have. It came down to those 2 people, and Donald Trump won the election. Donald Trump getting the win does not discount the struggle, the hard work, the effort put in by all the folks on all the actual parties that had a chance, plus the people that put in for the Libertarian and Green parties, which didn't really have a chance, plus all the kind of fringe people that just said, hey, I'm old enough, I'm a citizen, I'm going to put myself on the ballot, and they just do that. There was work involved in all of that, but the fact that one guy got it because there's literally one job to go for made it worth all the while for him, while the other ones may have learned something in the process, but they do know they're not president now. Maybe they'll get a chance to run again. Maybe they'll run a couple times and realize it's not their lot in life and they find something a little different. Maybe in the feat, they have to kind of find something in the solace of losing and kind of go on with their lives. There will be plenty of struggles for you to get through to get to wherever you want to be. And there'll be plenty of struggles to get through to get to wherever you're going to end up in the same place. And where you want to be and where you end up may not be the same exact location, but it's sort of a fact in life. Number 1, make sure that if you're going to do something, if you're going to make a shot at anything, whether it's something you truly want or it's a sacrifice that you're making to do because you have to make through, you have to make do, you got to pay the bills, you got to show someone you care, you got to take care of a certain person because it is on to you, then you have to make sure the sacrifice is really worth the sacrifice. Make sure the work that you're going to have to put in is something you can do, something that you are capable of maintaining for a good bit, and something that you at least get some sort of, if not actual pleasure, some sense of accomplishment, some sense that you did something that other people have a hard time doing. You did something that was very important, even when other people did not step up to the game. Struggle is real, and struggle will keep you from getting to a lot of places because you look at the struggle and wonder, is it worth it? And many times you'll go through something, and in the middle of the struggle, you'll realize it's not worth it. And then you'll drop whatever you're doing. But sometimes what you want is so great for you or so great for someone else or such a needed commodity, it may be literally a life or death situation that the struggle has to be fought. The struggle has to be won, and the struggle has to be something that you have to get through to see it. If you're working through severe, serious physical therapy, if you want to get back to normal or better than normal, you have to struggle to get back to where you're going to be. We had a coworker who broke her hip and actually had to have the surgery 3 times because of a lot of just crazy things. Found out that physical therapy was something that she had to do. It was painful. It was just, it just got into the way of just life, essentially. Her life came to be physical therapy because she did not want to be stuck sitting around. She wanted to get back to work and not be a burden for other people, even though she wasn't so much a burden, just being inactive, sitting at home, not getting to work, not doing what she loved, which was working here in radio and doing the broadcasting stuff, really was a struggle for her to deal with. It was more important for her to be at work than it was to be resting and recovering. So that was a struggle that had to be worked through. For an example, if you want to be a great something, whatever that something is, there will be some struggle, some strife, some problems to work through. You have to make sure that those struggles, those strifes, I'm not sure that's a word, those things you're working through are going to be worth the work and worth the effort and worth what you need to do to push through. Because there'll be times when you're going to think, I can't do this anymore. And when those times happen, that's when you really have to see the test for the struggle. Is it worth it? Is the other end, the payoff, so great that it's worth the pain and agony you're going through right now to get there? I can't give you the answer to that. You have to determine that on your own. It becomes very hard once it becomes very clear that your struggle really isn't going to pay off for in ways that you expect it to. The payoff will not be as grand as it will be. That's when you really have to figure out whether to continue the struggle for yourself, for someone else, for whatever goes there. Struggles are real, and when struggles happen, you have to come to some serious choices. And those choices can determine how well you get through and continue the struggle, or how well you can pivot on to something that may be a bit more palatable towards where you need to go. And that's today's lesson for the 10-Minute Life Coach. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. We are always glad to produce this podcast for you here via the magic of internet technology and recording technology. If you want more information about this podcast specifically, go to the website 10minutelifecoach.com. 10minutelifecoach.com. All the podcast episodes, the full archive is right there on there, plus information about the story, the history of the podcast, and where we're trying to take this thing a future on. And because we need to make things viable, there will soon be some sort of advertisement via the website and here on the podcast. So just bear with that. We got to make sure this thing keeps going, and it takes a little bit extra effort and some resources. That means money. More information about what I have going on in my massive list of things that is entirely overblown and too many things, which is why things aren't always as consistent as it should be. Go to my website, jclevelandpayne.net. That's letter J, Cleveland like the city, PAYNE.net. And you can email me at info@jclevelandpayne.net or send it to me via Gmail. That email address is a little spammy, but I get checked a couple times a day because a lot of things fall there. jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this podcast. Hopefully you'll be back again for another quick 10-minute life lesson recorded in about 12 minutes or so here on the 10-Minute Life Coach.